Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I got another Blazers video for you guys, and we're just going to get straight into it because we got 8 games to cover in this video, and we're just going to go ahead and see how the Blazers have been doing recently. So going straight off the bat, we're going to start with the first game in this video against the Boston Celtics in Portland. Unfortunately, we went ahead and lost this game 105-100 because the Celtics are just a really good team coming out of the East. Their record is 49-23 at this time, just a little better than us with 5 more wins. And looking at their box score here, Marcus Morris just dominated out of nowhere, 30 points for him. Only 2 rebounds though, but he was obviously point dominant. And then we also have Terry Rozier with 16, Jason Tatum, very talented rookie, 13 from him. And I was watching this game and Marcus Morris was just absolutely dominating in the clutch. He hit a clutch 3, we almost came back on them, but they just ran away with it, and you just gotta respect that. So now I'm gonna look at the Blazers, and we did actually pretty alright, because Damian got 26, CJ got 26 as well. And then Yusuf got 11, Mo Harkless with 8, and then Al Farouk with 16. So all the starters were playing pretty well. But looking at the bench, no one got double digits because we have 6, 4, and 3 off the bench. So I think if the bench performed a little better, we would have easily won this game because we only lost by 5 points in the end. I'm not that disappointed because at this point in the season, we were playing really well. Coming off that winning streak we had at 13 games, so I wasn't too disappointed in this loss. So we're just going to move on from that loss and go towards a W 2 days after that against the Oklahoma City Thunder in Oklahoma City. We had CJ go ahead and lead the team with 34, and then Dame was behind him with 24, Yusuf with 17, Mo Harkless with 16, and then everyone else contributed little pieces here and there. So obviously we had our best players performing, our big three were playing really well. Yusuf had a double-double, which is obviously going to be great every time we can see that happen. It's good to see everyone on the Blazers just filling up the stat sheet and getting these W's as of recently. I'm looking at the Thunder, they did not play that well because Westbrook was their highest scorer with just 23 points. Behind him was Steven Adams with 18, Jeremy Grant with 17, Paul George with 16, and surprisingly, Carmelo Anthony only got 6 in this game. Raymond Felton scored more than him coming off the bench. Bit of a funny player in my opinion. So obviously on the Thunder side, they needed some players to step up. I think they would have gotten a W if Carmelo just did a little better. Russell could have done a little better too, but it's kind of hard on him because he's been carrying the team constantly. So yeah, that's just unfortunate for the Thunder because we just went ahead and beat them at their own court. And now we're just going to move on to the next game against the New Orleans Pelicans. Once again, another away game. And we went ahead and won this game as well, 107-103. This game, we had Damian absolutely dominate with 41 points in 42 minutes, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Those are some pretty good stats from him. And obviously, when someone like Dame scores 41, the rest of the players can relax because CJ just got 7 points in this game. Yusuf had 21 points and 10 rebounds. He was still hustling, obviously. Al Farouk had 10 points and 10 rebounds, a double-double for him as well. And Evan Turner, he started for us this game. He got 14 points and 6 rebounds. So obviously, everyone was playing pretty well, while Damian just absolutely dominated this game, and that's obviously why we won. Let's go ahead and look at how the Pelicans did in this game, because Anthony Davis did pretty well himself, 36 points and 14 rebounds. Drew Holiday had a triple-double. He had 21, 11, and 11. He's pretty good, pretty solid player, and everyone else just did not play well. So they needed some better performances from their players because Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday cannot carry the team. And it's just unfortunate for the Pelicans because they're one of the teams trying to fight for a playoff spot in the West, while Portland's just relaxing at number 3 right now. And I'm really glad to see the Portland beating teams like New Orleans and Oklahoma City because we could potentially face them in the playoffs. And I just want to make sure the Blazers have the potential to get past the first round and beat these teams. So obviously I'm really glad to see the Blazers performing this well, and I thought the next game would be a really easy W because we were playing Memphis. Unfortunately, we lost to the Grizzlies 108-103, but I'm not too disappointed because we didn't have Damian Lillard playing. He went back to home and went to see his baby that was just born. Congratulations to Damian on that. But yeah, I'm not too disappointed because we didn't have our best player. But still, CJ scored 42 points. And Yusuf had 12 behind him. Wade Baldwin, a new player of ours, had 15 off the bench. We had some solid performances, but I feel like we still should have been able to beat the Grizzlies because they're arguably one of the worst teams in the NBA. And looking at the Grizzlies side, they did have some players perform pretty well, honestly. Marshawn Brooks had 21 off the bench. Chandler Parsons, 15 off the bench. Wayne Selden Jr., 10 off the bench. Dylan Brooks was the only starter with double digits with 18. So somehow they did beat us because I'm looking at the stat sheet and their players did not perform that well. Like Marc Gasol, arguably their best player, had only 8 points. They don't have Mike Conley, keep that in mind. He is their best player. He had a really high contract not too long ago. And it's just kind of disappointing to see their bench players performing this well against us, considering we're one of the better teams in the NBA and they're one of the worst. But it's alright, because at this point we basically secured a playoff spot, so it's no problem. So we took that loss and we just went to the next game, coming back home to Portland, and we won this game gladly, 105-96. Clippers did put up a good fight in this game, even though they lost by 9. because 4 of their 5 starters had double digits, and 2 players off the bench even had double digits as well. Lou Williams being their highest scorer off the bench with 23. He's a really good player. Although their players did perform this well, they obviously couldn't finish us off because we just played better than them. Looking at Portland's side, 5 players had double digits. Yusuf Nurkic had another double-double with 21 and 12 rebounds. Damian had 17 points and 11 assists. That's a double-double for him as well. And everyone else was just playing pretty well. CJ had 13. Zach Collins with 15 off the bench. That's pretty nice to see from him. And yeah, everyone was just performing well in this game, and that helped us beat the Clippers. And it's great to see us beating another decent team at this point. And we're just going to move on straight to the next game where we played the Grizzlies once again, but this time things were different. This time we had Damian, and this time we beat them. 113 and 98 at home. And in this game, all 5 starters had double digits. Damian leading the way with 27, CJ right behind him with 20, Yusuf with 10, and then Evan Turner and Al-Farouq Aminu with 17. Al-Farouq also had a double-double in this game, so good job to him on that. And then looking at the Grizzlies side, Dylan Brooks had 28 points leading the way. Wayne Selden Jr., he actually started this game and got 17. Jarrell Martin had 10. And then Ben Malcolmore was the only player off the bench to score double digits with 13. So they did all right. They had a lot of players scoring pretty well, but the Blazers came out stronger. We had more players playing better, obviously. That's how the game works. When you're sharing the ball and getting all these players scoring pretty even numbers, you're going to have great performances. And that's what Portland did in this game, and that's why we beat the Grizzlies. And then we're just going to move straight on to the next game against the Mavericks. I really thought we were going to win this game too because they're a pretty bad team. But they beat us at their home court, 115 to 109. Looking at the Blazers side, I don't see anything that really went wrong because we had 5 players score double digits once again. Yusuf had a double-double again, 15 points, 13 rebounds. Damian led the way with 29. So everyone played pretty well. Even the bench players. I mean, we had Zach Collins, Pat Connaughton with 8, and then Myers Leonard with 6. They all came off the bench, so it didn't seem we did that bad, but I guess looking at the Mavericks side, they did pretty well too. All of their starters got double digits. Yogi Ferrell came off the bench with 15 as well, and everyone else on their team was scoring just above 5 points. So I think they were doing all right. It's just unfortunate that we lost this game. But at this point, we actually secured a playoff spot, so congratulations to Portland on doing that for the 5th straight year. Hopefully we can do something special in the playoffs, obviously. And we're just going to go ahead and move to the last game in this video against the Houston Rockets. We ended the last video with the game against the Rockets and we lost that game. Unfortunately, this game with the Rockets is going to be the same as we lose just by 2 points, 96-94 in Houston. I was watching this game and we almost pulled off one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen because we were down 24 starting in the 4th quarter. We put in all our bench players and they went on 17-0 run in the 4th, which was just absolutely insane, obviously. Although the Rockets saw James Harden and Chris Paul at the late stages of the game, we still had our bench players go ahead on this run and almost win the game for us. Looking at the bench, Wade Baldwin, he really shined in this game with 14 points. He got a couple steals on Harden too, something really hard to do. It's good to see him playing well on the defensive side as well. Caleb Swanigan followed him with 10 points off the bench. I haven't seen him play that much. He went to the G League for a little bit, so it's good to see him back and performing pretty well after being drafted earlier this year. And then looking at the starters, we had some alright numbers. Damian actually didn't play in this game with an injury. It was pretty impressive to see the Blazers keeping up with the Rockets without their best player. But looking at the starters, CJ led the way with 16 points, Yusuf with 14 and 11, another double-double for him. And then Evan Turner at 10. Al-Farouq only had 4, and then Shabazz started for Damian with 8 points. And also Pat Connaughton was playing pretty well this game too. He had 9 points, but if you were watching the game, he was making some good plays on defense late in the game, and he almost won us the game with a game-tying layup. But Chris Paul came back and scored the game-winning layup in this game. It was just unfortunate to see that happen. But I think everyone on the Blazers side was playing really well, and it's kind of hard to beat the Rockets, especially without Damian. But I'm not too disappointed because we already had a playoff spot clinched, and it wasn't much of a problem. And I'm just going to go ahead and see how the Rockets did really quickly because Chris Paul had 27 leading the way. James Harden had 24, Clint Capella with 11, Trevor Ariza with 10, and that's just about it really. Obviously, Chris Paul and James Harden dominated in this game, being one of the best front courts in the NBA, leading the Rockets to an incredible 64-15 record so far. And I think the Rockets really do have a good chance to win the title this year, so I'm not too disappointed that we kept losing to them in the season. But I just hope we don't have to face them in the playoffs because that's going to be a big problem, I feel like. But after all those games, we only have 3 left in the season against the Spurs, Nuggets, and Jazz. I'll go ahead and make a video covering just those 3 games, so that video will be kind of short. So it'd be ideal if Portland could win 2 of the 3 games because we would easily secure the 3rd spot in the West, because we are about 2 wins above the Jazz right now for 3rd place. And if we're able to clinch home court, that's obviously going to help us in the long run. Even though we're probably going to play a pretty strong team with this stacked Western Conference, I think it'll still be really good for us to get home court because we have one of the best home courts in the NBA with one of the best fan bases in the NBA as well. But yeah, the Western Conference is really tight. I see 3 teams tied for the 5th spot. The Pelicans, Spurs, and Thunder all have the same exact record right now. It's just absolutely crazy. I've never seen something like this in the NBA. And it's really exciting. It's really bringing back the excitement of basketball. And I just can't wait to see what happens in the playoffs. So we're just going to go ahead and cover the rest of the games of the season next week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video though. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all later.
I bet you got it twisted, you don't know who to trust. So many player hating niggas trying to sound like us. Say they ready for the funk, but I don't think they know it. Straight to the depths of hell is where them cowards going. Well, all you still down, nigga, holler when you see me. And let these devils be sorry for the day they finally freed me. I gotta